So Google is launching a new advertising network that serves targeted ads to Google TV powered streaming boxes and smart TVs. So, Google, if you're not aware, Google has definitely gotten worse over the past couple of years with, it's like you search something and then there's a bunch of links to things that are sponsored and they're not really what you're looking for, and then all these things. So that's how Google primarily makes its money, was with these targeted ads using the data of people's search histories, right? They're now going to be integrating that into video content and film and TV content, right? So this would be called the Google TV Network, and the idea would be that advertisers can place unskippable ads on fast channels, right? Google reports that viewers of its free channels watch about 75 minutes of content a day. And they also report that there's about 20 million monthly active Google TV and Android TV OS devices. And this doesn't even include YouTube, right? Which, of course, has 150 million monthly active viewers just watching on their televisions, right? Using the YouTube app on their smart TV or something, right? So I mentioned this thing. So advertisers can place unskippable ads on fast channels. So you might be saying, well, what's a fast channel? What's fast? So I've talked about this before. You can find my videos about it. But in short, fast is an acronym meaning free, ad-supported streaming television. So that's things like Tubi and Pluto TV, these things that don't require an account, don't require payment. It's completely free, but there's ads, right? And not only is it a la carte like other streaming services, but they also have like channels where you can just watch things, curate, like you don't pick something, you just put something on in the background, right? And that's kind of been an advertising-based streaming in general, whether it's free or, a cheaper option compared to an ad-free, like Netflix subscription. Advertising has more or less saved streaming, because, streaming, the story of streaming from an economic standpoint was this thing that wasn't profitable, but was very exciting, was clearly a disruptive force in the industry. So it was all about growth. So when you look at like Netflix's stock price going up, it was all about growing subscribers, growing the business. Eventually, the floor fell out from everybody, and Wall Street and investors and everyone decided, okay, growth for its own sake isn't good. The idea was that growth would eventually get to profitability. So where's the profit? And there really is not much, right? Because you're just paying a flat fee, and then people get everything, right? So places like Netflix and then all the imitators like Disney and Warner Brothers and Peacock and all of it, they've really leaned into having ad-free tiers of their streaming services and ad-supported, right? Again, either free or you still have to pay, but it's just like way less. And that's been a really great source of revenue. And so like when these companies have done their earnings reports, like they're really boasting, like subscriber counts we're not really as concerned about. We're worried about, because we're concerned about how much money can we make per user. That's more important. So fast channels are super popular. I didn't include this for the story, but I think I read somewhere that, Tubi had more viewers than like Disney Plus last month and Max and all of these other things, right? Because it's free, and it's ad supported. So that's how it's able to make the economics of it work, right? And again, streaming disrupted traditional television and kind of solved multiple problems at once. And I think a few of those things were like, if it's 2013, like why do you want to get Netflix? For the superior original content that isn't beholden to like, like they can curse, they can have sex, they can do all these things. It's not controlled by like cable regulations. It's a la carte, so you could just watch, not a la carte, but on demand. Like you could watch anything at any time. It's not like you have to wait until 8 p.m. on whatever night to watch something. And then no ads, right? And that's kind of like the three value propositions that streaming offered. You still have the on-demand part, but what fast channels do is if you don't care about ads, and not only that, you kind of want a traditional television experience, here you go. Here's Tubi's all their different channels. You can just throw it on in the background while you're cooking or something, right? And there is value in that, right? And again, I'm, always skeptical of capitalistic and business practices by these studios, but just from if I'm just going to be analytical, this is a great way to bring back some of that revenue that was lost from the transition from traditional television to streaming, right? And in general, this just speaks to a larger idea that, advertising on the internet in the modern age is very different than advertising on television for most of its history, right? Because when you would want to when an advertiser would want to show an ad in front of Cheers or something, right? They had a general idea of like who's watching, like what kind of demographic, and then that would kind of inform if what shows they would want to put their ads in front of, right? But it was not a science. It was very much, or maybe it was technically a science, like they had statistical analysis stuff, but it was not for sure, right? It was all extrapolation. Now with internet advertising, we basically give these companies our data. We give them a sense of who we are, what we like, and what we want, right? So in the modern era, you are the product. This is huge on social media, right? Facebook is not the product. You are the product. Facebook is a means to enhance the product, which is you. And Facebook's real customers are advertisers, right? So, and maybe if you are not the product, then your attention is, right? And that's kind of the synthesis that we're seeing between traditional television advertising and internet social media advertising, where, Google's main business, like in the same kind of way as Facebook, Google's main business isn't search, it's advertising. That's how they make money. So, and Google still is to this day one of the best places to create targeted ads. And again, they have that data. They know what you're searching for and all this stuff. So that really makes, being able now as a advertiser to use Google, Google TV network, to target ads on Google's, their versions of like Tubi, like their free, their fast channels, right? That's going to get way more precise and be way more effective than advertising on traditional television. And this is also good for Google. It's trying to diversify, right? Because I talked about, Google is still one of the best places to create targeted ads. And obviously, Google is huge. But, ad revenue from search may decline precipitously, right? As AI explodes, people are searching on traditional Google less and less. And Google's even starting to integrate basically their like AI kind of ChatGPT, like their version, where it'll answer your question using generative AI instead of just giving you links to find the answer yourself. So the paid search results could very well become less and less important. So it's important, I think, for Google to try to diversify in this way, right? And again, it seems like it's going to be integrated pretty seamless for Google Ads users. So it could just be like another channel to potentially advertise content. So you have Google like search ads, and then you have like display ads. This could just be like another on that checklist to give those advertisers opportunities to put their products in front of customers.